Everybody come see us on tour. We'll be in Columbus, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.
Says Thomas Chatterton Williams drew people's attention to this crazy CNN segment. Content aside, one of the reasons podcasts have exploded their audience. Oh, should I start again and introduce us?
Yeah, set the thing up, yeah.
This is Russell Dobular with Keaton Weiss filling in for Jimmy Dore, who's on the road. So John Chatterton Williams drew people's attention to this segment that just completely goes off the rails on CNN about what else? Gender ideology. So he says here, content aside, one of the reasons podcasts have exploded their audiences while cable news dwindles is that it's actually just unbearable as a viewer to watch a bunch of people shout over each other instead of fully making their points. All right, so let's see this. This is really, it's funny and tragic, like much of the liberal class worldview.
A lot of families out there who don't believe boys should play girls' sports.
They're not boys. I'm not going to listen to transphobia at this table. I am not going to listen to you call a trans girl a boy.
Are you going to allow me to finish my explanation?
When you use a word that's a slur, I'm going to interrupt.
Virtue signal activated. Like that. What is this for? Who is this for? This is so that you can get pats on the back around the table when you get home. This is so that when you go to the local playground with your kids, everyone can say, yeah, I saw you on CNN. Shut that guy down. Good for you. Good for you.
Well, he clearly didn't get the memo. I mean, clearly, this comes right in the middle of a week of programming where, CNN is trying to sort of turn the page on this era of like reacting hysterically at the slightest offense to your sensibilities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the whole point of this segment seems to be that there needs to be a moving on from that. And I guess he didn't get the notes.
He did not get the notes. He's gotten too many accolades for towing the party line. That's what all of these people are. These are all people who have no personality, no creativity, no particular intelligence. Because if you had any of those things, you wouldn't need to deeply conform like this. You only deeply conform like this when you think there's no other way to get people to like you.
Right. That's not how it is.
Jay,
they're not boys. They're not boys. They're not playing girls softball. I'm not going to sit there and listen to that.
Let's reset for a second because, look, this is a really heated issue, right? And Sharmichael, I know you. I know that you understand that people have different views on this. I think out of respect for Jay, let's try to talk about this in a way that is respectful.
Okay, so let me rephrase this since I'm being targeted here.
I don't. Just to be clear, you are not being targeted.
I am, but it's okay.
I'm specifically saying that I know that you are not intending to be transphobic.
He should know that I'm not intending. He wants to sit here and bloviate.
I'm saying you're using a phrase
I want to give you an opportunity.
So the way regular people interpret it,
that's not regular people. That's not regular people. There's no consensus that these are actually boys. This whole thing about trans girls is a canard. We're talking about a tiny, tiny sliver of the population.
That may be the
and we're
case,
using
but
that
my point in
to
terms
take
of
away
its
healthcare from thousands of people.
Hold on, just get to your point.
My point in terms of its effectiveness. Regular people with children look at these things and they say, you know what, this is a bit too far. I do not agree with this. I don't like this. I think Democrats are going way too much to the left on social issues. They're uncomfortable with it. A lot of people believe that. A lot of families believe that. You may disagree with that reality, but that's why Republicans kept running those ads over and over and over again, because they saw the metrics suggested that they were working.
In those ads over and over again and using rhetoric like you just used, saying this is boys playing girls sports. First of all, we're talking about 5 people in the entire country.
You would prefer?
We're talking about trans girls being allowed to play with the people who are in their gender. And if you don't believe, you don't have to listen to me. Listen to the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association.
The American Medical Association.
This is not about the
guys.
Right? This is about trying.
Okay, asshole. All right. So there is so much there that is just complete misinformation. I don't even know where to start. First of all, the idea that boys who identify as girls there's a consensus. No. If anything, the consensus, if you get away from America with its uniquely for-profit healthcare system, the developing consensus in other countries that have done studies on this is that actually the kinds of medical interventions that he's advocating for there, saying you're taking away health care from these people, they have found that these treatments are not at all justified by the studies. There is actually, we're going to cover this on Wednesday, the New York Times just did an article, a doctor who actually has been medicalizing children with diagnosed gender dysphoria for, I think, 15 years, did the study. So this is someone very biased in favor of these kinds of treatments. And the study found that there's actually no benefit to sterilizing, in many cases sterilizing these children. And they won't publish the study because they're afraid if they publish the study, people will stop prescribing these treatments. This is how insane this whole school of thought gets. And to the point of the gentleman being attacked here, I don't know his name. Yeah, most Americans can see this is insane. This is insane. This is, if there's any issue that to me illustrates how completely out of touch with reality and how completely out of touch with public sentiment the professional managerial class has gotten, it's this issue, because it is really the black is white, up is down. It's a contradiction of everything the liberal class was supposed to be about. You talk about we shouldn't have conversion therapy. What is this but conversion therapy? You're bringing back ideas that liberals have fought against for decades about what a girl can be and what a boy can be. You're going back to the assumption that people who don't present in a traditional way must be the opposite sex. What could be more reactionary than that?
Yeah. I mean, and the thing to keep in mind there too is that when he talks about healthcare, the whole premise of that conversation is that you're talking about kids in sports, right? You're not talking about healthcare as it pertains to a larger group, which, as I mentioned when we had Lee Fung on, Kamala Harris was asked, should trans people, not kids, people, have access to gender-affirming care? And you know what she did? She punted on the issue. Follow the ad, law. She said follow the law. She would not commit to it. The ad that the Trump campaign ran about the illegal immigrants getting trans surgeries in prison, that was actually a Trump-era policy.
It was a Trump-era policy.
But they didn't want to say it was a Trump-era policy because they didn't want to react negatively to the policy, since they were fearful that if they reacted too negatively to that policy, they would offend their diehard woke liberal base. So, this is where when you give the Republicans that opportunity, they drive through it like a truck, because they sense such weakness on this issue that Kamala Harris will not defend trans health care, period. She would not say, yes, we should have trans health care available to people. She would say we should follow the law. What is that? Well, that's punting to the states or punting to Congress or punting to the courts, right? She doesn't even want to own that issue in the broadest, most general sense. And so, of course,
it's turned against them. They thought they were going to be able to dictate this clearly fucking insane idea. And I have literally been saying for as long as we've had a show, you come after people's kids like this, there's going to be a backlash. There's going to be a backlash. Most people are not these mushy liberal parents looking to please elites. Most of them are going to say, you want to do what to my kid now? And they're going to vote accordingly.
Everybody come see us on tour. We'll be in Columbus, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.